Let's talk about commissions. Are you ready? Where do you find them and how much should you charge? Hey, Walter here, doing what I can to make comics easier because it shouldn't be overwhelming or daunting to tell your story. I make videos about making comics. If that's something you're into, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So a big question that I get from a lot of new artists is, how do I get commissions? It's a really important question since it's a big source of income for freelance artists. However, the first question you should be asking is, are you ready for commissions? And you can figure this out by asking yourself three things. One, can you do the job? Two, can you prove that you can do the job? And three, do you even want the job? First, can you do the job? It's tempting to want to jump right in. You want to start trying to get commissions to draw someone's D&D character or draw their webtoon, whatever it is. But if you get the job, can you do the job? A lot of new artists don't realize the amount of work that goes into making a comic. It's like drawing a pinup times 10 in difficulty, or designing or drawing someone's D&D character. There's a large visual library there of armor, weapons, and fashion that you may not have yet. So whatever it is that you want to do that thing for yourself. Make your own comic, design your own characters, draw your own vehicles, robots, whatever it is. Just make sure you can actually do it. You don't have to be the best at it. You don't even really have to be that great at it. You just have to be able to do it. And this is going to help with the second question as well. Can you prove that you can do the job? This is going to go a long way to getting commissions. Drawing all those comics or characters or whatever it is going to give you a large portfolio to show off. And so not only have you proven to yourself that you can do the job, now you can prove to other people that you can do the job, have done the job, and will do the job in a consistent manner. Why would anyone want to hire you if you couldn't do all of those things? So you need to build up that portfolio, put it somewhere that is easy for potential clients to view. This can be a personal site, Instagram, DeviantArt, ArtStation, whatever. You just have to be sure that it is quick for someone to look at it in a few seconds and be able to understand what you can do and if it's what they want. That's not a guarantee that you're going to get the job, of course, but it will make it easy as possible for people to hire you. You might not just be the right style or the right skill level that they require, which is why it's important to keep your portfolio up to date with just your best pieces, quality over quantity. I think 5 to 10 pieces is a good place to start quantity-wise. And your portfolio should contain examples of the work that you want to do. If you want to make comics, don't have a portfolio full of character portraits. If you want examples of sequential artwork, if you want to design vehicles, don't have a bunch of abstract art. And this may seem obvious, but so many times someone has told me they want to make comics, and when they show me their artwork, there are 0 examples of comics. Next thing you want to do is ask, do you want this job? This is important, and doing a bunch of your own personal work will help answer this question for you. We are all really eager to get our art commissioned, and that becomes a goal. It's not really a great goal. It's a good achievement, but not a great goal. One of the reasons being that you can't control it. You need someone to commission you. You can't make that person commission you. So you're basing your goal on something that you can't attain with your own hard work. You can make goals of producing good content, creating an online portfolio, searching for work 5 hours a week, but I digress. So make sure you want to do the work that you're looking for because of the work itself, not the idea of being hired or the idea of making money or the accolades or the bragging rights. All that stuff is great, but making art is hard enough without adding the extra stress of hating the job. So here's my question to you. If you've done commissions before, have you ever found yourself regretting a job that you took? And if you can share the details, please do. I'm sure it'd be really helpful to commission rookies. Now, if you haven't done commissions yet, have you produced finished, completed artwork in your area of interest that you could show a potential client? If no, what's holding you back? Okay, now if you answered yes to all those questions that I asked, that means you're ready and able to do the job. The next step is actually getting the job, which is the important part, I guess. Now, if you've made it this far, then you'll already have your portfolio, and the other thing you're gonna need is an easy way for people to contact you via the platforms. Direct messaging is okay, but email is universal, so make sure that's an option. I wouldn't give out my phone number though. All right, so Now your portfolio is your home base, but you need to branch out further and take over some commission territory. This is going to include obvious platforms like Instagram, Twitter, whatever, where people go to see art. Places where you can use hashtags to make it easy for people to find you. Now, speaking of which, use those hashtags. Did you draw Batman? Hashtag Batman, comics, DC, superheroes, illustration, art, pinups. Whatever it is you can think of to hashtag what you're posting. So that's the obvious stuff. But the more unknown platforms, the less traveled paths can be very fruitful. So what are those magical places? I don't know. That's why they're unknown. No, I'm just kidding. Sort of. Anyways, one of the big secret ones is Reddit. It's a searchable platform with countless communities and conversations. The communities are called subreddits, and there's one for every interest. Some of them are more welcoming than others, so don't get discouraged if the admins of a subreddit are complete ponces. Just try another subreddit. So do you want to draw D&D characters? Find every single RPG subreddit out there, post some of your work there. You want to do comics, look for those subreddits, and think outside the box. Maybe post a logo design and a small business subreddit. Whatever it is, it doesn't hurt to try. A lot of this is about trying and about failing and continuing to try. One no or being ignored is not your universal truth. You just haven't found the right client yet. So I posted a single fantasy character design in a D&D subreddit, and I was inundated with commissions more than I wanted, so I never posted it again because I realized I didn't want that job. I was too concerned with, can I get the commission versus do I want the commission? So the more you can think outside the box, the better. What if instead of posting where a million artists post, maybe post where writers post? Maybe draw a sample comic page from a script you found online and post that to a comic subreddit with writers. And you can ask, like, how well do you think I did on illustrating the script? Of course, get ready for some critiques if you post it that way. There's comic collaborators subreddits, there's penciljack.com. If you want to be paid to make comics, the best way is to make your own comics and post that on Webtoon or Tapas or subreddits. Want to be paid to design characters? Make up your own game idea and design those characters for a game and post that where game programmers hang out. Maybe do a fan art of an indie game and post to that indie studio's forums. Wherever you post, asking people what they think is a great way to increase engagement. The internet is a place for everyone's opinions to be heard, so they're just looking for an excuse to give it. And the more engagement you get, the more that popularity algorithm is going to like your post, so more people will see it. Speaking of, why not engage now and hit that like button? You know you want to. Okay, so if you know about these places, then other people know about them also. So search around on Google and see what you can find, and always be on the lookout for new platforms that you can twist to your own nefarious commission-based conquest. Another trick is to use symbiotic marketing. You never heard of that before? That's because I just made it up. I mean, probably not. I'm sure someone got there before me. Anyways, this is the concept that I'm talking about. The hardest part about getting commissions is getting your work in front of potential clients. So if you can create free artwork for someone who could be a potential client or travels in the same circle as potential clients, they will become a host for your advertising virus. They get some free artwork of their comic or their characters, whatever, and you get free advertising and legitimacy as they share your artwork with the people who could be your potential clients. This is similar to what I've talked about before about creating fan art for a comic to help draw readers to your own webcomic and increase followers for your Instagram or whatever it is you're trying to boost. I also suggest doing this for creators that are slightly above your perceived popularity. Doing fan art for Batman isn't going to do anything for you. DC doesn't care. However, if you do fan art for a little comic, they're going to be super happy with that surprise, and they're going to be really eager to share it with their own readers. And don't be afraid to let the creator know about the piece you drew. I know some people who did some fan art for my comic Hacksaw, and I never knew about it. I just found them randomly on Instagram and DeviantArt 2 years after the fact. So don't be afraid to tell them that you did some artwork for them. Comic conventions, art shows, craft conventions, book fairs are also good places to find creators and clients whenever those things come back into reality. So make it easy for people to find you and contact you. Go to where your clients hang out. Like where they hang out online. Don't hang around outside their homes because that's just weird. Join communities, contribute to them, build a symbiotic relationship. That's the important thing. And think outside the box. The final thing I want to talk about is how much to charge for commissions. For first-time freelancers, this can be really tricky to get those prices right. So I'll give a few ways to figure it out, and you can try one or multiple or a combination to see what is going to work for you. Now, the easiest one is simply asking the client what their budget is. This takes the stress off of you completely. They're going to give you a number and you can either reject it or give them a counter offer. And also, just because they give you their budget, that doesn't mean you have to take the job if the money isn't good enough for you. Another easy one is to ask another freelancer, preferably one you've cultivated a friendship with. Ask them what they charge for that kind of work. Now, you might have to do some social perception math to figure out if you should charge more or less or the same, depending on how you feel about your skill and time compared to theirs. Third is to figure out what your time is worth. Minimum wage, the living wage is like around $15 an hour, at least here in the US. So I'd say to at least start there unless you think you're getting some other benefit besides the money from the work you're doing. So if a character design takes you 2 hours, then you would charge $30. If a comic page takes you 10 hours, you charge $150. Now, maybe it seems like a lot, but you are a skilled laborer. You deserve at least a minimal living wage. Of course, maybe you live in a country with a lower livable wage, but that's up to you to decide. Now, this is just a way to determine your commission rate. I'm not suggesting that you charge per hour. Of course, this is again an example of why it's important to build up your portfolio. The more pieces you do, the closer you'll be able to guess the amount of work and time involved in any commission request that you get. Now, if you really want or need a job, you can always lowball yourself. I don't know if you'd want to go any lower than 10 bucks though, like maybe 20 bucks. Even if you would just have drawn that piece anyways and 10 bucks is better than no bucks, you also have to include the additional work and stress of dealing with a client. Just as a frame of reference, and I don't really suggest that you follow this path, but here is my path on how I figured out my prices. My first comic convention I went to, I charged $5 for a convention sketch because I just had no idea. After I had gotten a few of those, I realized that it was way too low, so I went up to 10 bucks. And people still wanted them, so I went up to 20 and then 40, and that's when people started walking away versus just saying yes all the time. And that's when I knew I had reached the perceived value of my art. Of course, I raised my rates more over the years, partly because I knew I could work on things more lucrative or more rewarding, like my own projects. So to make the commissions worth my time, I raised the monetary benefit. And as more people said yes, the higher the rate went. So currently I'm at $160 for a full colored comic page or cover and around $100 for a single character illustration. Now, there are some great artists out there who charge less than I do, and there are some artists out there that charge substantially more, maybe by factors of 10. So there is no single answer. It comes down to what you think your time is worth. Other people may not agree, but that doesn't mean you have to lower your rate unless you want or need more jobs. Okay, so hopefully you found all of that helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And please, if you like this video, share it with your friends. If you didn't like this video, share it with your enemies or also your friends, and you can giggle amongst yourselves. But really, I'm gonna have the last laugh because I'm gonna have that extra additional view that I crave so much. Anyways, if you have any other insights into getting commissions or have a fancy mathematical, spiritual, astrological way to determine what your commission rate should be, let us know in the comments. And if you want to keep making comics easier, either yours or someone else's, be sure to like, link, love, hug, and hit that sub button for more sweet, sweet goodness. Peace.